Hi, welcome to Comic Beat Insider, the weekly podcast, streamcast, live stream, free-form conversation about pop culture, movies, comics, and whatever else we feel like talking about. I'm Heidi McDonald, the editor-in-chief of The Beat at comicsbeat.com, the news blog of comics culture.
And I'm Jimmy Aquino, the host producer of the weekly podcast since 2005, Comic News Insider, covering comics, TV, film, and pop culture at comicnewsinsider.com.
I'm Avery Kaplan. I'm the features editor at Comics Beat.
And I'm Joe Grunenwald. I'm the managing editor at Comics Beat.
So we have a little beat consortium here this week, but it's all good because, as you may know, we are ranked all the Star Wars holiday specials ranked. A very special episode indeed. Of course, there are only two, but it's a hotly contested debate, which might be better. The original Star Wars holiday special, which has been banned from being shown for 42 years. 42 years. Or the new one that just debuted this week, the Lego Star Wars holiday special, yet to make an impact. So you guys, so Avery and Joe, you've already done a roundtable on the beat about the original Star Wars holiday special.
Yes, we have. We took Greg Silber, who had never seen it before, and we forced him to watch it, and I don't think he will ever be the same.
No,
I don't think anyone will be.
It's a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
The first time. Nobody forgets the first time.
I certainly haven't. So if you know our format, we go around and we talk about, indeed, our first time watching whatever it is. So I'm old enough to say
I was 14. Oh wait, we've talked about.
I was.
Sorry. Star Wars holiday special.
Yeah, I was indeed there originally. The original Star Warrior. I saw Star Wars in the theater when I was a teenager, and of course was all in on it. And, we had the comics, because in those days there was no internet. There was no organized fandom. So if you loved a thing, you had to really work hard to keep your fandom alive. So there was the comic book. And when that debuted, I was there for it, poring over every issue. And of course, they had Jackson the Rabbit, which upset. Remember? I don't know if anybody else is reading.
Oh, yeah. Jackson the Rabbit. Yeah, for
Jackson
sure.
the Rabbit.
Jackson with an X.
Yeah.
Yes. And
that's
so
spacey.
Yes, it makes it spacey.
Yeah.
And then came this holiday special. And, my family, I was raised by my grandparents. I might have mentioned that a few times here, but they had seen Star Wars. They like Star Wars as well. So, everybody was kind of in on it. And so I was sitting there watching that night. And they said The Incredible Hulk and Wonder Woman will not be shown tonight. And,
which pissed a lot of people off.
I call it my first betrayal.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's it for there. But where's everybody else's first time? Jimmy?
I don't know. I would imagine I would have seen it on TV because I watched Incredible Hulk and Wonder Woman. So if I didn't know the Star Wars special was coming out, I'd probably be like, hey, all pissed off about it. Unless my mom switched it to the Love Boat, which apparently did better in ratings that night. Anyway, against it. We watched it, but I either blacked out or just didn't remember it at all. But I did remember seeing it years and years and years ago. And then clips here and there. And then again, I watched it the other night for the first time in probably 10, 15 years. And I don't know what happened. It was, so I'm still recovering from it, but yeah.
Avery?
So I first heard about it as a rumor at Star Wars Celebration in 1999, I think it was, because people were laughing about Lucas trying to get rid of the tapes and trying to destroy all the VHS tapes. So that's the first time I heard of it, but I couldn't go on YouTube and find it. And I am not completely sure when the first time is that I finally did see it. I think it must have been when I could find it on the internet. But I find that even thinking back to it, it's like some sort of fever dream. Like even after you've watched it multiple times, like it's kind of hard to like keep straight in your mind. So
it really is.
Yeah. And Joe?
So I don't remember the first time I heard of it. It may have been It may have been from Wizard magazine when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But the first time that I saw it, I bought a bootleg VHS of it at Mid Ohio Con, and I think I was a freshman in college when I bought it, so that would have been the first time that I saw it. I bought that, and I bought the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie, and the TV pilot, the Justice League of America pilot.
Oh.
It was like a combo deal. You got 3 of them for a special low price. So I picked the 3 best ones.
Yeah.
By the way, I gotta say, Avery, your special guest here is killing me. I mean,
yes, the child.
The child.
Hi, child.
It
hide the eggs. No spoilers.
Yeah.
Genocidal murderer.
I know, right?
So wait, so Avery and Joe. I mean, so Joe, what did you? I mean, you'd heard it was awful, but when you watched it, did you understand? I mean, did it surpass your true horror? They say is cannot be seen because your mind always imagine something more horrific than we could ever really see. Is this Star Wars Holiday Special the one thing that disproves that you cannot possibly imagine how bad it is?
I think for me, it was worse than I expected it to be. Honestly, I don't know that I knew it was a variety special when I sat down to watch it the first time, so that was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the individual acts and segments were just, man, I don't know. I still don't know.
Me neither.
And Avery?
Well, I actually think it's kind of moved closer to what Star Wars is now, because especially when you just had the first movie, it's just the epic archetypical story. But as time goes on, there's become more and more space for kind of the side stories and, the musical numbers and kind of the weirder things. And I feel like a lot of the segments kind of feel like characters who fit in better with that sort of mode than, when the Star Wars universe was just the first movie.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I think you're actually onto something there.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, so just, like this starts out with George Lucas's idea, and George Lucas's idea was to have a 15-minute segment of Wookiees without any subtitles, just grunting at each other. And so, the beginning is sort of science fictionally okay, except the characters' names are lumpy and itchy. But
short for other things, but I didn't even really learn that till like
right. Well, I did a super deep dive on it this time because I'll tell you, again, watching it as a kid, I'm like, oh my God, Harrison Ford is going to be in this. Han Solo is going to be in this. Like everyone, I had the biggest crush ever on Han Solo. I don't think I've ever had a bigger crush on any movie character ever than Harrison Ford as Han Solo. And and then I'm like, oh, he's only in it for like 3 seconds and he looks so bored. And then I'm like, oh, Art Carney. Now you must
unhappy.
Yes, now you must understand though. I've mentioned now, Jim, you're ex musical theater. I've mentioned before I'm kind of a come a showbiz family. And my stepfather is a comedy writer. He wrote for Bob Hope. The person who directed this actually directed quite a few Bob Hope specials. So this, Harvey Korman appeared on the Carol Burnett Show and Mama's Family, and my stepfather wrote for Mama's Family. So this is kind of all.
Bruce Valanche, one of the writers, wrote for Carol Burnett.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah. So this is really, and I loved the Carol Burnett Show growing up.
My God.
It was the Art Carney Show.
Still holds up. Yeah.
Right.
Still holds up.
So I loved the comedy variety shows the era. So seeing Art Carney and Harvey Korman and B. Arthur somehow on here, I think that if I can be, I don't think that was as much of a shock to me as it probably was to people watching later on, because this is just what was on TV at the time, and it was just, normal that there would be some schlocky Lawrence Welkian singing and dancing. So
Yeah.
I guess that wasn't what the total betrayal was for me. It was just like, oh, there's not enough Star Wars. There's, and like,
Yeah.
who wants to see B. Arthur in a bar?
I mean, she ran a pretty good bar, but I mean, as the bartender myself, I can relate. But it was just like, what was one of the things she said? I don't think she even realized she was doing a Star Wars thing. She was like hired to do this. I got the song and I shot this thing, and I didn't even know Star Wars. I thought it was just a bunch of weird creatures. I was like, makes sense, makes abs because I don't think
Yeah.
she knew she was in a Star Wars thing at all.
She's great.
And she's great. Of course, she's freaking beyond
But
it. Yeah,
and
she's a great voice and identify a lot. As I said, with
I
the
was
whole
gonna
like,
say, what do you,
okay, closing time, get out, guys, let's go. I've had to
Jimmy?
do that many times.
I think if you were to make a video singing
Mhm.
goodbye, but good night, but not goodbye, it
Yeah,
could become a signature thing for you.
maybe. I think it's better than the damn closing time song. So every fucking bar plays. I'm like, Jesus, play the B. Arthur thing. It's better. Yeah, it's just I identified a lot with the bar stuff. But yeah, she was not in a Star Wars thing at all. She had no idea. But I did like I said, I felt her pain with people trying to come in after he said you're closed, and trying to get people out of the bar. But like the thing I wouldn't do, she did was like, okay, everybody, one last drink, all on me.
Yeah, right.
What? What are you talking about? What? No way. If it's one last drink, you're paying for it, and you better tip well.
Yeah.
She's an independently wealthy Tatooine bartender, apparently. So
Apparently, I
she can
mean,
afford to
yeah.
just give drinks away.
There you go. Probably.
I am really curious for Heidi and Jimmy, since you guys saw it originally. What was the marketing for this like? Like, were there like what were your expectations going into it as to what it was going to be like, and then how did what it was compare to how you'd been prepared for it?
I mean, I no way I remember. I was 7 or 8 years old, but it's
That's
like,
true.
but
All
I
right.
don't think there was much marketing for it. If I'm correct, because by then George Lucas had stepped away from it, so I think they didn't do much promo for it. Do you know, Heidi? I don't know.
I think at the time, again, maybe it might have been mentioned in like oh, what was that magazine?
Star,
Cinescape. No,
oh,
Starlog.
Starlog,
Starlog.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Starlog was our
Yep.
internet. It was a
I love
magazine.
Starlog.
Yes. But I didn't get every issue of Starlog. I'm pretty sure the only way I knew about it was from the TV Guide, because I collected the TV Guide and would
Yeah, probably
every
same. We were TV Guide people too.
and
Yeah,
the TV Guide came out on Tuesdays,
you're right.
and then
Probably
you
is.
would get, and we'd go to the store on Tuesdays, and I would get that TV Guide, and I would look all week, and I would plan what I was going to watch. I'd check the 4:30
I mark it. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's probably how too. Yeah.
So,
right.
But Joe, that's a fantastic question, because in reading about this, there's this fellow Charles Lippincott, who actually just passed away this year, I believe, who was the marketing guy for Star Wars, and they showed Star Wars preview at San Diego Con. They were savvy to the fan market, even though the fan market was so underground at the time. So I'm sure I'm sure it was in Starlog magazine. And I'm sure that made it all the more bitter for all the Star Warriors who happened to be fortunate enough to be watching it that night. But like I said, again, like I think from my standpoint, the disappointment, I wasn't probably as shocked to see Art Carney in it as contemporary viewers are. Like it was a different time. It was a different world. Lucy, wow, she just knocked over.
Made it, I know. She almost didn't make it. I was like,
that's a big jump.
I know.
Lucy. Anyway, yeah.
Well, I think they wanted to initially make it. CBS thought it would be a good thing to sell toys. And I've seen some version where it had the commercials in it, and I don't remember there being Star Wars toys commercials. But there are these other toys like what was it, Tobor? It's robot, and literally they'd say in the commercial, it's robot backwards, and like it just really rolled back and forth this thing, and it could pick up something and come to you, and like the kids are like, yes, Tobor. Like so, but I don't remember it actually having. Maybe they did a Star Wars commercial though. I'm like, well, that's odd. You'd have like a 2-hour special that doesn't have any actual Star Wars toy commercials, but maybe it did. Maybe I just missed it. But yeah.
Yeah. So Avery, what's your now? Avery is pretty much our Star Wars expert over at the Beat. Like whenever we get a Star Wars
Yes.
story,
Please check out her
yeah,
just her whole look going on, and her background and everything
yeah,
is awesome.
she's got
It's
everything.
awesome.
Yeah, but what's
I've just
your
got my little Star Wars tie. That's
and
it.
I'm
But
I'm just I was there, so I don't need to prove my cred.
she
But
she was at the bar. She was at the bar with
I was there
Mog.
at the bar, yeah. But yeah, what's your like experience with Star Wars and how the holidays? I think you're onto something there about the changing of Star Wars. But tell us a little bit about your Star Wars journey, your personal Star Wars journey.
So I've been a fan of Star Wars literally since I can remember. Some people have heard the story of the first Star Wars I ever saw was the climax of Return of the Jedi. My parents were watching it, and I snuck out of bed, and so it's one of my earliest memories. And then when they did the special editions, of course, I got even more into it, and very disappointed with the Greedo thing. And so. And of course, the holiday special at that point for me was still abstract because I hadn't seen it yet. And I mean, I liked the prequels when they came out, and then I kind of liked them less. And then I've definitely come back around on them. At this point, I would say I'm fairly a fan of pretty much anything Star Wars. There's some angle of it that I can dig into one way or another.
Same.
And well, and that's kind of what I really like about Star Wars is I love that it's this one single collaborative story by so many different creators, and they're so passionate about it. And you see that through the costumes and through the props, and everybody is bringing their A game all the time. So if maybe the dialogue's a little bit stilted, then you can kind of dig into the mythos that you like over here and things like that. So I would say that's kind of the general survey of my Star Wars fandom.
And but when you finally did see the Star Wars holiday special, though, I mean, what was your initial reaction?
My initial reaction was rejection. For sure. I had no idea what was happening, and I think it took and then of course when you're watching it and you don't have anyone there to tell you about it, you're like, well, like is this just Jefferson Starship the rest of this? This is just my life now, I guess.
I tried to watch it like with my ex-husband. I mentioned this a few times, and because he was the same, he did not believe that it could be as bad as everyone said, and so we started. It was actually Life Day. It was like Thanksgiving, and I think we were watching it, and I mean, he couldn't last 10 minutes. He was just like, no, nope, and turned it off. And
Yeah.
I think as I was like. I think like Avery, I came to a greater acceptance of it this time, and like I think as I'm getting older, I think I'm getting over some of the feelings of betrayal that I had about that and the prequels and everything,
Mm-hmm.
And but I still, as you watch it, you really do think human beings made this.
Yeah.
Human beings who made the pyramids and the Empire State Building. Humans made Star Wars holiday special, and
Yeah.
it does not.
Well,
It doesn't compute.
yeah. I think to Avery's point, I agree about like anything Star Wars I tend to enjoy because I'm back in that world. Like when the prequels happened, I was so stoked. But I liked them. I was like, I'm back in the world. Yes, okay. Attack of the Clones was a little cheesy, and the whole group of them was. But I'm back in the world. No new characters, something to tag on to, things like that, and all the cartoons and comics and things like that. So when this was something else, I'm like, this is a rare Star Wars thing where I'm like, yikes. Like you read the stories like Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher didn't want to be there. And like Mark Hamill was a little more amicable about it because he's just a nice guy, but he kind of was like reluctant. He's like, all right, I'll do it. I just don't want to sing. So
Why is he?
Apparently, he had a song, but it was like,
oh, but why is he wearing so much makeup?
He's so made up.
Is it because
it was apparently right after his car accident, is what I read.
I saw you guys wrote that, and I looked that up. So I don't think that's it because his car accident because his car accident was in January of 1977, and he talks about how like, oh, it's been blown up over the years. For honestly, he goes, I only fractured my nose and left cheekbone. It wasn't like I didn't have facial reconstruction. I didn't have all this other stuff. So that was like they shot this in '78. So it couldn't have been that. Yeah. So that's why. Cause I remember I saw your little thing on the beat, and I was like, oh, maybe that's real. And I looked it up,
Right.
like, oh no, that couldn't
You
have
know,
been it. So
you know,
why
well,
did they do that
yeah,
then?
because there's a lot. Listen, there's still a lot of mystery about
Mhm.
Mark Hamill's accident, and because I
Well, he like
remember,
said he claims he
yeah.
said it. That's what he said. Quote was like, it's been exaggerated over the years. It was only a fracture of my left cheekbone
Yeah,
and my nose,
but he
which maybe he's covering it up. Maybe he
well,
is. Who knows?
yes, because at another time he said they had to take cartilage out of his ear and
Yeah.
reconstruct his nose. And if you look, he looks very different. The whole shape of his
Yeah.
face is absolutely different now. Is it just because he ate a few more Wookiee Okies? I don't know. No, I mean it's and also I remember hearing, I mean, I know I was surprised when I looked up that the accident had taken place in early 1977 because
Yeah,
I
January.
remember it happened after the movie came out. But then
That's what I thought too.
right, why did we all think that?
Well, I
Well,
always thought,
he said that it happened during the filming, even because apparently there's a stunt double that did some of those land speeder seeds.
Right,
Because
right. Well, I'm not going to gainsay Mark Hamill. I'm sure he knows when he had this accident, but I think it was reported. Obviously, nobody would have cared before Star Wars came out that this actor had an accident. But I don't know. His makeup in this film is very disturbing.
Well, like I mean, listen, I was an actor. I used to do my own makeup, and like I got pretty good at my eyeliner. Who the fuck did his eyeliner? Like I was like that's nothing to do with like whatever happened to your face. That's just some weird like you try to do it yourself, or your makeup artist is like, again, I know they all were like scrambling last minute. They're probably like, get Joey over there to do the makeup. They're like, oh sure, I've never done it before in my life, but whatever. Yeah, it was caked on like foundation, like pancake makeup, and then this weird eyeliner, and he just looks so pretty. But it was like, but it was just so weird. I was like, and the close-ups were like, it was so obvious. It was like reminded me of certain politician. But I was like, wow, not even hiding that.
I know, but
Holy
I mean, basically, like all three of our main Star Warriors here, like you could tell Harrison Ford is unhappy, as he often is. Carrie Fisher is on about a fistful of Quaaludes, and Mark Hamill is decided that he is becoming a Tiger Beat star. I think it actually might have had something to do with that. I think like a lot of the teen idols at the time.
Teen Beat and Tiger Beat were the thing, man.
Teen Beat, Tiger Beat. It might have been just an attempt to be more Sean Cassidy. I don't know.
No, maybe.
Yeah.
Poor R2. R2 was probably so embarrassed. That's why R2's like in the background, just annoyed to be in the scene. Like, ugh.
I know. So let me ask you though, everybody, what is? And I know what Joe's answer is going to be, and I want you to expound on this. But what is the most disturbing part of this Star Wars Holiday Special? The most viscerally disturbing and horrifying.
Jesus.
Avery, what a.
I feel like I'm going to kind of scoop Joe a little bit, but the lead into the Diane Carroll part, especially where Dan is using the eufemisms is, I think.
Oh, you mean the space porn? Yeah,
the space porn. Well, like the rest of the family is like in the room.
Yeah,
like they're all there.
But
I mean, it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but still, it's like to us that would be the future. So maybe in the future, it's just accepted. Like, oh yeah, you can whack it while other people in the room. It's fine. It's all good. We're a family. It's okay. It's accepted. Don't be ashamed.
Yeah, maybe I mean the special is sending very mixed messages about the nature of adult entertainment in a galaxy far, far away. On the one hand, you've got him watching it right there in the living room, and on the other hand, they never come out right out and say, that's what this is. It's all in sort of coded language. So,
and I do mean Happy Life Day.
Was it a happy ending? Anyway, but it's I mean, Diane Carroll is the visage. She's beautiful, of course. That's not. It's just like you guys are saying. It's just the suggested, like she literally says, "I'm at one point I'm your fantasy, I'm your pleasure," or something like that. Or
I am your fantasy. Yeah, it's
yeah, and I'm
she
like,
basically says like she's
okay, well,
whatever he's imagining.
yeah, yeah. It's like holy cow. So that's both your guys sort of most disturbing
Well,
part.
I mean, it's hard to top the
Yeah.
fact, but I will
Yes.
say in families, where you have a senior, an elderly family
Mhm.
member, and
Yeah.
Wookiees live to be hundreds and hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
Chewbacca's what, 200 something,
Yeah.
right? Himself. So, God only knows how old Itchy is.
Count like
And
200
he's
probably, yeah.
got, the old man under,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, good one, Joe. Good one.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
And and after
Perfect.
he watches, I mean, just to drill down in the detail, I do think it's after he watches Diane Carroll and gives the
Yeah.
Gumming with approval.
It's like he's like, yep, I'm
like
done. I can
he
rejoin
rewinds
society
the
now.
part where she says, "I find you adorable," and he watches that like
Yeah,
over and over
yeah,
again.
oh my
Well,
god.
it is like this.
Oh,
So, but what I was going to say is when you have, a senior, sometimes it's like a kid, it's just like, oh, let grandpa watch Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
It'll keep him quiet. So,
Yeah.
let grandpa watch his pornography. It'll,
And Grandpa
we
watch
got,
it in the corner. It's
we
fine,
got,
whatever.
we got stormtroopers trying to kill us here. So let's just keep things under control.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most overtly, but just this whole idea of I mean, it does kind of predict YouTube, I
It's
mean,
true.
you're
right. Yeah.
Lumpy is little Lumpy is who is now canon of Chewbacca's son.
Yeah.
He's like they have that, but apparently that really was Cirque du Soleil. Or some kind of precursor of Cirque du Soleil. He watches,
which I love normally, but the way they presented it,
it's like
so
this
weird. And some of Cirque du Soleil is weird, but it's like it's entertaining. This was just like I don't know. It just wasn't like it didn't come out the way I think they wanted it to.
Yeah.
Especially with the way the music was playing was like I can't imagine that music anywhere. Oh, it's just so strange.
It's so strange. It's
Yeah.
just so strange. And then he watches this, like Harvey Korman is like this comedian who has 3 bits.
Harvey Korman is the star of this whole special.
He is, and he's hilarious. I mean,
I love Harvey. He's great.
He's fantastic. I mean, everybody's fantastic. Art Carney's fantastic too.
I could watch his four-armed Julia Child chef forever. Like I want a whipster. Oh my god! When the other arms came out, I was like, yes.
So I rewatched the special this morning actually at double speed.
Oh,
and that sequence at double speed is awesome.
I bet. Oh my god! Yeah, and he plays like 4 roles, right? So he's that. He's the robot guy and the.
He's a robot guy. I was like,
wait, thing, He's the very handsy suitor of BR. Like when he grabs her from behind, and I was like, whoa, Harvey, slow your roll, dude. Jesus, I know B can handle herself, but still was like, holy cow. And then is he one other thing? He's
Harvey Korman. Well, he's 3. He's the
robot and just 3. Okay, 3. Okay.
And the suitor with the hole in his
guy.
head.
Yeah. He's great. I like that. Harvey Korman's the best thing about it to me. But it's like, it really is.
Yeah.
I do think they say it's canon, Lumpy's canon. I'm like, I really wish and I guess that he was trying to distance himself from it at all, not bring it up again. But like, it'd been cool to see Lumpy in like the later films, like coming back as like a teenager, like learning to be like, maybe Lumpy becomes a Jedi, maybe Lumpy is like, following his father's footsteps, wants to be a soldier and like or a mercenary or whatever like that. Kind of cool to see him there, But I guess we get him in the Lego one for a minute, but that's about it.
Yeah. Now, what did we think of the cartoon? The Mobius and totally Mobius inspired. George Lucas says, make it look like Mobius, and they're trying.
They tried. They tried.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. It was fine. We see Boba Fett. We see little things like, oh, there's that yellow jacket Luke has that he wears at the end of, as a Jedi, he has it on, and like you see the beginnings of Boba's costume, and even like maybe a little inspiration Mandalorian took later, and Yeah, it was fine. It was kind of cool. It was probably I said Harvey Korman's the best thing about it, but out of like sequences, actually,
Yes,
it's
yes.
probably the
Nice.
best. It's probably the best sequence in the film, just because it's
Yeah.
like more. It's total Star Wars. It's all Star Wars stuff. So yeah.
So yeah, it's what was there any part of the original Star Wars holiday special that you guys genuinely enjoyed?
I genuinely enjoy Carrie Fisher's song at the end.
Well, she's got a great voice, and that's like
She has a great voice.
Apparently, she demanded us. She was like, "I want a song," because she sings, and she's like, famously, her mother, of course, Debbie Reynolds.
And her father, Eddie
Yeah.
Fisher. So
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly. She had the pipes for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
I think just something about how it's like I appreciate that someone took the time to write a counter melody to the Star Wars theme that fits in with it, and then it's just it's performed well, and I genuinely appreciate that sequence.
Oh, nice. All right.
I really like Chef Gourmanda. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think like literally every holiday meal I cook, I make a joke about it. I think about it because it is when you want the 4 arms when you've got so much to cook.
For sure. I cook all the time. I'm like, I wish I had 2 more arms. Come on. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, and another thing I kind of like about the Star Wars holiday special is it literally is just watching things on TV, which is of course what watching the holiday special is. And that's really like what I think a lot of families, especially of that generation, of our generation, that is our experience of holidays. Like there is some cooking, there is some like family time, but there's also a lot of TV.
Yeah, that's right. On Thanksgiving, the parade, the football, to some movie.
It's such a weird way they like. Okay, I get like Lumpy and Itchy watching their little like, futurish little iPad, whatever thing. But like when the commander of the stormtroopers comes over, he literally just stays in their kitchen watching Jefferson Starship, and I'm like, that's a weird thing. You're just literally watching them for the 5 minutes they were there. Like nothing else going on. I'm like, okay.
You know what? That's the most disturbing thing about this to me is that a stormtrooper, basically you have the Gestapo in your house.
Yeah.
Who's threatening to kill you, kill the father and husband, and you decide to placate him by playing Jefferson Starship video. That's like disturbing.
Videos,
disturbing.
I'm like, okay, sure.
And it worked.
I think my favorite part. Yeah, it's true. My favorite. I think like the cartoon was pretty fun, but like I agree. I think like Harvey Korman was the best thing about this whole thing. Every role he played was awesome.
So you guys, I'm gonna like split the difference. My favorite thing, and something that actually made me change my mind a little bit about the holiday special, was absolutely the B. Arthur part. The whole segment in the cantina, and again, predicting today's, visuals. They say, this is a live shot from Tatooine. We're not editing it in any way. This is how people live on Tatooine, which I loved that part. It's like, oh, all right. So it's B. Arthur, and she's got this lonely guy. It's really about the writing in this sketch. That's the thing that's so shocking. Everybody involved in this actually was super talented. Like Bruce Vilanch, multiple Emmy Award winner. Pat Proft, wrote for the Muppets. I mean, this guy's like a comedy legend, really. And the writers, Mitzi Welch, Ken Welch. I mean, everybody was really good at what they did. And I watching it again. It
doesn't mean everything they do is good.
No, that's true. And it's very misguided. But I think, Avery, I think you're absolutely onto something. I think that because Star Wars has become so many different things now, that watching the cantina scene, to me, I was finally able to find closure after 40 years. And I was finally able to see this as part of this world, and this is lonely people, and this guy who comes in is just lonely, like Harvey Korman plays this love-struck guy, and he's fallen in love with B. Arthur as Mina, the bartender, because she said what did she say?
Something we bartenders always say. Things like, I've been a bartender for 27 years. I'm like,
she says,
you want people to come back, they're customers.
She says, thanks for coming.
Something like, hope to see you.
See you later. Yeah. And he falls in love with her because and so Jim,
listen, I've had several ladies. I've had several ladies at the bar happen to me as well.
Yeah.
Like, he said, come back later, and they come back the next day.
They do.
I want your money and your tips. You know?
Exactly. And I think there's some, but I
mean,
think
a few whatever, but
yeah, but Jimmy, I think there's some truth. There's some truth in that, though.
sure.
There's some
There
truth.
absolutely is truth, especially for my female bartender and cocktail waitress friends. It was like, man, watching them work was amazing because they would work these dudes who were just, I'm like, you have no chance. Look at her. But, but they would come back once or twice a week and tip heavily. And of course, sharing tips, I'd benefit. I'm like, yes, right on. And yeah, this reminded me of those like dudes that I've seen at my bars and other bars and just like coming in and like fawning over the hot, bartender or whatever like that. And on rare occasion, I was that hot bartender, but whatever.
I'm sure more
I'd,
than a
I'd
few
have,
times,
I'd have an
Jimmy.
occasional little stalker, but whatever it happened.
Yeah, I'm sure that happened.
But no, it just really, I see that all the time in the bar business. So I was like, yep, relate to that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The handsy, obsessed guy. And then the best part is when he actually hears her say the line to somebody else. And he's like,
I'm right.
Wait a minute. I'm like,
yeah,
buddy, not just you.
Yeah, I know. So I thought, it's like, on this rewatch, I found that genuinely poignant. And then B. Arthur singing this "Good Night but Not Goodbye" song is, she's just like you say, oblivious to that she's in Star Wars, and she's just singing this it's actually a really good song. And
she's got a great voice, of course.
You have Rodians, you have Max Rebo, you got the whole Star Wars cantina.
Sure.
So you know what?
There's a Twilight in there,
I actually really enjoyed that part, and I think it was B. Arthur's performance that obviously just sold it for me. And so
another scene that was just watched by the commander as well. That one literally just watches P. Arthur closing up the bar, kicking people out, and singing. Like, sure, I'll just hang here and watch this. Why not?
The Imperials are just occupying Chewbacca's house.
Yeah, this is right.
Breaking stuff, messing up the kids' room, and watching TV.
Just
toy.
But apparently she was. They said some of that article, like she was, not that happy, not that easy to work with. Like if they had any notes for her, she would demand why am I changes? Why, which you could see B. Arthur be, hey, she's a seasoned pro. You better give her a good reason why you need a different line reading or a different whatever like that. So I could see that for sure.
Well, as I've mentioned here also, my stepfather was a producer of the Golden Girls for a couple years.
Wow. He's probably got some great stories.
Oh, he does. But, I think it's absolutely true. The B was, I'm not going to say the word difficult. She was just really.
She was a demander.
She was demanding, but everybody had 1,000,000,000% respect for her. And, she was also an ex-Marine. I mean, she's pretty.
Pretty bad,
pretty badass. Yeah. So what did we all think of the ending though? Like the ending for me is like, it's been kind of realistic, I guess you could say, up until now with like the Empire. And then all of a sudden we have this fantasy scene where Chewbacca is imagining scenes from the first Star Wars movie, and then everybody's all together for Life Day and Carrie Fisher singing. I was like, no, I wasn't sold on how that happened or how that came about.
I know Avery has really interesting thoughts about this because she and I were actually chatting about it earlier today. So Avery, go for it.
Nice.
Well, after watching it multiple times this week, I have some theories.
Multiple times, yikes.
So I think it's basically like a shared mind space that's maybe activated by the orbs, and they all go into the shared mind space, and it's about connection. And that's why you see Chewbacca's memories, is because he's been apart from them, and it's them kind of communing, and he's sharing his stories of his adventures with them. And then that's why at the end, then they're all back at the table and they've all been sitting around the table. So it's kind of like a symbolic holiday meal where you all sit down and you share like, oh, this is my adventures. This is what's happened since the last time I saw you. So that's my theory. Oh,
that's a great theory. I buy that.
That's a great theory. It's a great theory.
I will point out again, the droids are there as well. So do they have human brains?
I still think that droids are the most. Droids are great injustice in the Star Wars galaxy. They're they're like a minority class that is just completely abused all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, isn't it in here?
Except for R2.
I might have it mixed up, but doesn't 3PO say in this one, if only I were human and I could
they wish they were human.
So feel like you do.
It's so messed up.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
Yikes. Well,
Yeah.
also that last scene, apparently they ran out of budget. And by then, like I said, Luke said walked away, so they couldn't go to him for money. So they didn't know what to do. And the director was like, get a bunch of candles. That'll look great. And like threw them in there
Right.
like they had zero budget to even make a set. It's like, we got to figure something out. So that's why it was so, I mean, the whole thing was pretty low budget. But although was the production cost was $1 million, they say, which doesn't seem like a lot, but back then, that's a lot of money. Like,
Mm.
it doesn't look like it was used though. But it was like, what do they use that money on? I guess who knows? But I guess just
I guess
getting
building
the
those
stars or
futuristic
who
like
knows?
record
Yeah.
players or the cassette players where there's like the I don't know, it's a lot of creativity misspent. Well, all right. Well, we need to rank both these specials. So now we come to this week, and
Okay, can I say one more
yeah,
thing
yeah,
about
yeah,
this one?
yes.
So I heard that initially George Lucas had said that Han Solo was married to a Wookiee or something like that. Did you guys hear that? But they couldn't say it because it wouldn't have been like it would have been acceptable. So my theory is that Lumpy
Ooh.
is his kid. Lumpy is his, and like he picks him up at the
Whoa.
end. He picks up Lumpy at the end. He's like, "You getting big, boy? What's up?" I'm like, that he is the father, and they've sort of just come together, like raise my son, for me, or either he hooked up with Mala before, there was some sort of dalliance when I don't know Chewbacca was away, but it was
There
like, yeah,
is,
it's that's his kid.
yeah,
Just saying.
when he and Chewie arrive and they're in the living room,
Mhm.
and Han Solo painfully says, "You people are like family to me." There
Mhm.
is a sort of long glance back from Mala, and
Mhm.
sort of a head tilt a little bit
Yeah,
there.
like,
So
And a
I think
gentle
you're onto something here.
yeah.
Yeah.
That human Han is such a snack. And like,
And
yeah, for sure.
we know that Wookiees enjoy, humanoids as well, because Itchy's
Yeah,
porn is of a
yeah,
humanoid
That's
woman.
right.
So
same.
Well, what about
Mhm.
man,
Chewie and
Lumpy is,
Maz?
Yeah,
yeah,
Maz. I mean,
that's
Chewie's
true.
beloved of all
yeah,
species. So,
yeah,
apparently Wookiees are some, like
yep,
exotic sexual conquest in
yeah.
Star Wars world.
Lumpy Solo. Come on, Lumpy
Yeah,
Solo.
that should have been.
Anyway,
Well,
all right,
we still have to do
let's
the
move. Yeah,
final.
let's go
We
into
have to
the
do the
Lego.
final ranking at the end. We're going to
Yeah,
rank which one is better. Okay, so we can
yeah.
have also, if we have any more thoughts. Okay, so now this week on Life Day, which is apparently November 17th, 2 days after my birthday, so I'm off for Life Day. They released the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, which I thought when I first heard of it would heal the wounds. Like I said, would bring closure to the great, agony and terror of the Star Wars Holiday Special years. So debuted on Disney Plus. So I'll go last. So Avery, we'll start with you. What were your thoughts on the Star Wars Lego Holiday?
Well, I know. Okay, I think the short answer is that I have it right here. This Lego Marvel superhero game raised my
Yeah.
expectations way too high, because in that game it has up to the minute like Marvel Comics stuff from when it was released. Like there's an entire subplot about Gwenpool, who was like a year-old character at that point, and they took a bunch, like there's some deep dives from like Howard the Duck in that game and stuff like that. So while it's like it's a loose approach to continuity, but it's very knowledgeable and in depth with a lot of deep random cuts. So I think I was a little disappointed that there was almost nothing beyond the Skywalker Saga movies in the Lego Holiday Special, because I was kind of hoping to see. Well, I've got some Star Wars Resistance sets back here from the most recent animated series, so I was kind of hoping that Lego has done a really good job of having sets from the entire extended universe and from Rebels and from things like that. So I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to see any of that. And then I know that Heidi and I have a similar complaint of the complete lack of Leia and Padme. Especially, I think Leia has like a cameo for 2 seconds.
How?
But
I'll go off on that. So, well,
yeah,
you can go first. I have a hammer at it, but I'm like,
well, I think I have a slightly different angle to go at it than you will, which is I was really upset. I felt like right, one of the things I really, really liked about Rise of Skywalker is I thought that it was really textually explicit that Leia was Rey's Jedi Master.
Hmm?
And this just seemed to not even be aware of that whatsoever, in spite of the fact that it had other details from Rise of Skywalker, like the yellow lightsaber and some of the other character dynamics that, you know, we don't know until the end of that movie. So, but
Yeah.
there were a lot of cute jokes and stuff, you know. Oh, and I
Yeah.
liked, my favorite ship in all of Star Wars is the Naboo N1 fighter, which got a little cameo in there.
Nice.
I appreciated that.
Very nice. Very nice.
Oh, great. Joe,
Was
what do
there?
you-
There's one part where towards the end where Rey is sort of seeing all of the Jedi, you know, master and apprentice groups, and I feel like there's three of them that we spend more time with. You know, Obi-Wan and Anakin, Luke and Yoda, and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. But I feel like there was a fourth one there as well that just like split second, and I thought that it was Leia and Rey, but I could be making that up.
I'll have
But
to
you're-
double check that because
Yeah, we'll have to do a freeze frame.
Even
Yeah.
so, it's like a half second. You know,
It's just
like,
half a second. Yeah, you're
yeah,
absolutely right.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was cute. You know,
Yeah.
it didn't heal any wounds for me, but you know, it
Yeah.
was I didn't find it offensive. Yeah, that's it.
Wow, ringing endorsement from
Yeah.
Joe. Jimmy?
I thought it's a Lego thing. I love the games. I haven't played any of the newer ones, but I played the Star Wars when they first came out, and the Lego humor is always really cute and silly. Yeah, a lot of puns. I mean, I laughed out loud. It's a rap, and it was so. I was like, that's
That
great.
made me
Yeah,
laugh.
come on, he gets freaking Lando a rap. That's great. Those little in jokes here and there, those little like side things are really fun and silly. But yeah, I was like, where's Leia? Where's Padme? But also being, of course, a former actor and of course of being of Asian descent myself, you know, I was very excited when we had Rose Tico in the films, who unfortunately got a lot of hate because people are fucking idiots. So I felt like she was thrown in there, but I felt like they didn't really use her. I was like, she should have been going on this adventure with Ray, you know, and hanging out. But it was like they kind of just sidelined her as like a party planner, and I was like, come on. I mean, it was actually she was one of the rare few that actually it was actually the voice of the actual actress Kelly
Yes,
Marie
yeah.
Tran doing it, which was great. And I know like, you know, Billy D. Williams did it. There's only like 2 or 3 of them actually. I wish all of them would have done it. But yeah, so I would like to see her get a little more, you know, or her Lego version get a little more screen time, you know, a little more action in there. But at least I was nice to see her in there. But I would like a little more. But overall, it was just a little silly and fun. And like I said, a lot of those typical Lego puns that I laughed out loud at, you know, and they were like the whole do or do not, there is no try. That he's like, participation trophies for Jedi there are not. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. Hey, gotta learn to lose. That's right, kids. But so that's some really good lines in there. But yeah, it was silly and fun. I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. Basically, the general take, though, you know, it's fun. I mean, I've watched some of the Lego Star Wars episodes now. They have, you know, Disney Plus. There's lots to
Yeah.
watch, and you know, they're fun. They're satirical. But
Yeah.
I'm with you. You know, there wasn't any healing, and I really did feel like this. You know, this could have been like. Okay, there's a lot of healing to be done. Okay, and I think we're a little spoiled by how amazing The Mandalorian is in general. Okay, and certainly, you know, the first season, just unalloyed joy at that. And, you know, I think, and also the Clone Wars sequel was also, which I haven't watched yet because I'm still watching the Clone Wars, but it was so well received. So I think, right, we're all a little
good,
spoiled by how good it is. So I thought with this, maybe, like I said, the healing, because Rise, this is kind of the first thing that takes place after Rise of Skywalker, and they do pick up on the fact, yes, Finn has the Force, and Rey is trying to train
that
him,
was great,
which is fantastic. Okay, like why couldn't you put that in the actual films? All right, let us figure it out, you know. And I mean, it's nice. I agree, Jimmy. It's fantastic to see Rose Tico, Kelly Marie Tran back as the character because she got such short shrift. But you know, honestly, like if no Leia, no Padme, what is wrong with you? They are the like Leia, especially
It's a centerpiece,
because
absolutely.
because
Should have been.
she's so tragic that we lost
Mhm.
Carrie Fisher. And here you could have given us a little fan service. Like they do fantastic.
Yeah.
Both Harrison Ford, both Han Solos, the old Han Solo, original. They do all three Ben Kenobis, Obi-Wans.
Yep.
And it's fantastic. So but why? Why didn't we get anything for those characters? And so I have a theory.
Oh, I
But
have
I
a
mean,
little bit there.
well,
We can
I'm
as
sure
well.
we're all thinking the same thing. You
Yeah.
know, the fans didn't screw Star Wars. Star Wars screwed Star Wars. All right. And I mean, it's just like, and when you rank all the films, now that it's had some time to settle, let's face it, Rise of Skywalker, it's not as bad as Attack of the Clones because that's
No.
just horrible. Okay. But it's really down there. It's just so bad. They just fucked it up so badly. And with all of the anger, listening to the fans, they screwed it up by listening to the fans and not going with your heart. You got to go with your heart as storytellers, So I don't know. Did they leave out Padme and Leia because Star Wars fans are assholes who can't stand to have more than one female character in a story? I don't know. Because
I think I'm not sure about Padme, but maybe for Leia, because she so recently passed, Carrie Fisher did. Maybe it was just a thing where like we don't want to I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to include her in a parody. I don't know. That's a weak theory, maybe, but maybe they wanted to just pay her. They could have definitely paid her homage in some nice way, and I definitely think she should have been in more. But I think maybe they were just thinking oh, maybe she's sacred ground. We can't touch her. I don't know. Just a thought. I'm not giving them any excuse, but yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I had a similar thought too. Just noticing that Leia wasn't around.
Possible,
but they recast everyone else. So
yeah, no, that's what. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Well, and
So,
Leia appeared in a bunch of the cartoons voiced by different voice actors.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, it also got me thinking to like every guy in Star. I mean, they made the original trilogy, and they made a compilation of all the female speaking parts, and it's what is it, 3 minutes long or something like that, right? Other than Leia, but even her, when you add her in, it's only 15 minutes. But what she doesn't have, she has the speeder bike chase, which is kind of her action piece where she does it. She does things all throughout the trilogy, but it's not like she gets in the pilot, until the new trilogy. Leia was the best part of the new trilogy. You are one of the best. There are good things. Anyway, it just didn't settle right with me. And also, I was thinking, bring back Akmina. I mean, they brought back Lumpy, so I guess. But then Maz, that minx, walks in and says, "Where's my boyfriend Chewie?" I mean, is Mala, his wife, not standing right there? What is going on with the Wookiees and the marriage? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they have different ways. I'm not here to judge, but I don't know. That doesn't sit right with me.
They clearly went to go at it because she tackles them. They roll off screen. I'm like, they're doing it.
So is Mala not?
Mala's like, whatever. I got my Han Solo here. Whatever. I'm good.
Yeah,
I got my old husband.
She might have had her eye on Poe by this point,
I mean, we all did, didn't we?
I mean, I mean, he'll pretty much, has chemistry with anything, including a tip-yip. So go on.
So are Lumpy and Kylo half brothers then?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Lumpy has.
Love it.
Yeah, so Lumpy would be. I think because it isn't in the new. There's an upcoming novel or comics coming out where they're going to have a Wookiee Jedi or something about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is it part
how
of the
amazing would it be?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great if it was Lumpy. That'd be awesome. That'd be so great. Where but you don't find it out till like you introduce character has a different name, and then maybe far in the series you're like, and my father was Chewbacca. What? That'd be awesome.
Master Lumpa-Wump.
Yes.
Well, in the extended universe, in the Young Jedi Academy books, which are young adult books from 20 years ago now, I think it's Chewie's nephew is a Jedi with the twin daughter and son of Han and Leia, and then it's Chewie's nephew, and then Tennopa, the warrior princess.
Excellent.
So there is a precedent for that. Well, and then in the Clone Wars cartoon, there's a Wookiee Jedi, and it's especially cool because his lightsaber is made of wood. which is like a cool
Nice.
way.
I don't
Nice.
remember that. I saw all of Clone Wars. I'm trying to remember. Oh, okay. Right
There's
on.
like
Cool.
one brief sequence where Ahsoka takes these Padawans to, I think it's Ilum, where they end up building a Starkiller base. She takes them there to get their kyber crystals to build their lightsabers.
Oh,
And,
okay. I have
it
to
was
watch that one again.
Well, it was supposed to be a backdoor pilot, and I think at some point somebody realized that, like, oh, this is the Clone Wars, and Order 66 is like 2 years away, so maybe we shouldn't make a bunch of children Jedi. So
Yeah.
they kind of disappear from the narrative after their little, like, few episodes.
I mean, they killed him in the movie. I mean, what was suggested they killed? Anakin killed him in the movie. It's like,
the
no, I mean,
lightsaber.
we know he did. He's like, so they're like, kids are like, oh,
The little
like
chubby
you
face.
murdered those children, Anakin.
Oh, think of the
Aw,
younglings.
those
Think of
kids.
the younglings.
Don't watch, don't watch.
Younglings, poor younglings. Oh.
Yeah. So yeah. So
Yeah.
but you know, I totally enjoyed the holiday special. But you know, I'm gonna go back to my Clone Wars rewatch. It just made me want to watch the rest of Clone Wars quite a bit.
Yeah.
And of course the Mandalorian, which I haven't watched yet today. So no spoilers.
Oh, what was great was also another scene. I love that they did the thing everyone else was thinking of, where they shipped Hux and and Kylo,
Yes,
where
that's
Hux is just fawning
The
over.
peck
That
puns.
was great.
that
Like
is true.
everybody, like, oh my god, that was so. I'm like, well, that's something we all were thinking. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. No,
that was awesome.
I will
It's a
say
great
the
moment.
Kylo, they really did do well by the new characters. I mean, Poe came off as, you know, really shticky. I mean, he could have been played by Art Carney because he's wearing like the funny sweater, you know, the
Yep.
Christmas, the Life Day sweater, and you know, all excited about, you know, messing up their Life Day feast. So,
Yeah.
but all the rest of the characters actually, I did like all the Kylo stuff. You know, he gets to meet Darth Vader and
Yeah.
the Emperor, and they, you know, that the throne room scene in Return of the Jedi gets worked over from every which angle in a pretty satisfying way.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
I actually felt something when Rey and Return of the Jedi Luke, like, sort of got their lightsabers out and stood next to each other. Like, that got me. All right.
Nice. Very
Well,
nice, yeah.
Kylo's Vader wall, I thought, was one of the funniest gags.
Oh, yeah.
With the black light posters. Oh my
Yes.
god.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess there was, you know, what there was in the special was good. It's just, I wish they
What was
just,
left out, yeah.
you know, and they did they like a series of shorts that actually had Leia in them quite a bit, actually. So but they were wordless, you know. So because they did like a teaser for this that had like these little short Lego kind of holiday theme. Did anybody see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see those now.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw up a link for you guys so you can see it. But so, you know, I don't know, maybe it was left on the cutting room floor or whatever. I mean, it's only 47 minutes long, 45 minutes long or whatever. But yeah. So okay. So the big moment, you guys. Let's rank all the Star Wars holiday specials.
All of it. Should we include the Christmas in the Stars album?
Oh, well, we could actually. What do you get, R2-D2?
What do you get a Wookiee for Christmas if you already
when
have
he's
the
always
comb?
comb? Yes. Anyway.
Hey, I got a Wookiee for Christmas.
All right. You know what, Joe? We'll start with you this time.
Oh man. I think the Lego special is probably a little higher quality, but the original one, I remember the first time I watched the original one, when I was done with it, I was like, well, I'm never watching that ever again in my entire life. But it wormed its way into my brain. I've seen it multiple times now. And I think that I think that it might be more rewatchable and bonkers entertaining than the new one. So I'm going to give it to the original one. No one's more surprised than I am.
I'm going to have to leave this call.
Avery? Avery, your pick?
I think I have to go with the original, which is absolutely not at all what I was expecting. But it's I really went deep into the original this week, especially working on those articles and subjecting Greg to it. And I don't know. I mean, I almost have something approaching affection for it at this point, which no one's more surprised than me. So
I've definitely definitely got some affection for it, but in a way of like that relative you don't want to talk to anymore because they annoy the shit out of you. You're like, oh, they're still my relative. I still love them, but whatever. Yeah, I can't watch it again. And so I mean, like the Lego one, I just love those Lego films and the TV shows. Just the silly humor of them. Yes, there were some, left out characters that should have had in. Um, but maybe if it's successful enough, they'll do another one and include them
Mhm.
or something like that. But I think it's rewatchable just for the humor and the
Yeah.
because there's a lot. That's the thing about those Lego films. So much is going on. You kind of have to rewatch. I watched it twice, and you could catch jokes you
Oh
didn't
yeah.
catch the first time. Like, oh
That's a
yeah,
good
that
point,
happened
yeah.
there. I didn't miss that. So I'm definitely Team Lego, and I've also lost respect for you guys. But
That's fair.
Oh,
Totally fair.
as
fair enough.
reviewers
Fair
and
enough.
The whip.
I,
So you guys, you know what I think? I
Hmm.
think the world has actually caught up to the Star Wars holiday special.
where's
agree.
the
I
leave
mean,
meeting
with
button? Leave
TikTok,
meeting.
you know, when you say one of the happiest things that you've seen all year is like an underemployed middle-aged man skateboarding, drinking cranberry juice, and listening to Fleetwood Mac. I mean, there's no rules. There's no rules anymore. And the fact that the Star Wars Holiday Special breaks every norm, and does it,
Hmm.
but somehow does it with a good heart. Like, let grandpa watch porn in the living room,
Absolutely.
you
It's
know?
the movie 2020 needs.
Yeah,
Really.
I mean, listen.
yeah. I actually think, I think you're right.
I,
And
I was at TCAF. I was at TCAF 1 year, and like how it's in the library, and there's all those computers up there. So I was doing an interview up on top, and I looked down, and some old dude on the computer, full on watching porn. Like it literally to the point where me and the person I was interviewing, we both noticed it. We were like, "Is that guy watching?" Yep, without any just didn't care who's around him. He's in complete public. So I'm like, "All right, I get it. All right,
yeah, yeah.
itchy, got it from somewhere." So yeah.
Yeah, itchy, and the Star Wars Holiday Special might have been the prior to the Force Awakens was the first female led Star Wars tale, because Mala
Yeah, she's the star.
is the star of the
Yeah.
she's the main character really,
Yeah.
with along with Lumpy, but yeah, Mala is really, so I don't know, it's a little bit like I say, I think the world, as hellish as it is, as we go on our 9th month of partial lockdown and we're heading into again probably full quarantine, sounds like.
Next
Yeah,
week, prepare for it. What's gonna
yeah,
happen?
I think the world has caught up. I think the world has caught up. So yeah, I'm original all the way. I'm original.
Okay, sites to block from now on. Comics Beat. Let's see what. Oh, sorry, my mic's still on. Sorry about that.
So I'm gonna try now. Jimmy does his recasting, and he declined to do the recasting. So let's see if I can do it here. So
I should have done it with like maybe a new writer. Then I would have.
yes,
done
a
it,
new
but I
writer,
didn't
but it had the
yeah.
best comedy writers at the time. So let's see
Again,
if I.
doesn't mean that they do. Hey, everybody Shakespeare
Okay.
did some. Everybody did some
Okay.
bad work.
Okay, so let's see if I can do this. Yes, all right. So, in the B. Arthur role, there could be. Is it working, you guys? Is it sharing my
Yep.
screen?
I
Okay,
can see
Yes.
it.
Jane Lynch, right? Anybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Yep.
She would nail that role. Let's see. Now, as the Harvey Korman role, I realize he's canceled now, David Walliams, but he would have been great. He would
Why
be
is
great.
David Williams canceled?
Oh, because he did blackface in Little Britain, and he's kind of a jerk. They did a lot of things.
He's a bit of an uppity. Yeah, he's been uppity.
Yeah.
He was just on Graham Norton last 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay, but I mean, they did a lot of things in Little Britain.
No,
that
they did. Yeah,
make them canceled. Now, for the
Absolutely.
Art Carney role, a totally canceled person.
we're just seeing the thumbnail. Same thing.
Yes, I
happened to
know,
me. We're
I
just seeing
know,
the
I
thumbnails.
know.
Yeah,
No,
let's go.
no,
All
I
right,
know. I'm
just let
gonna
you
get
know.
larger. Yeah, yeah.
Just let you know. Let me go.
Who could, who would have been great in that role would be Louis C.K. Okay, but he's absolutely, we're never going to see him again. And you know who'd be
Yeah.
even better? Be Kenan Thompson, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, just amazing. He would be, right? Okay, now For Diane Carroll, absolutely Megan the Stallion. Who would not be watching her? Okay,
Yeah.
I think Lumpy,
I'm gonna go
Itchy,
watch her right now.
Mala, and everyone would be totally. And then for Jefferson Starship, it could be Weezer. I think we have several choices here. It could be Weezer or BTS, right? So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, BTS
Okay,
or Blackpink. Yeah,
BTS.
for sure.
Okay, we'll go with back or Blackpink. They would
Yeah,
have been better, but I
yeah,
would leave that
yeah.
to Jimmy to let him do his.
Right on.
Okay, so and I'm not gonna cast. The role of Lumpy was played by Patty Maloney,
Yeah.
who was a famous, uh, what is the right little person, I guess. She played a lot of roles. She played a lot of Star Wars. She's played a lot of robots. She played a lot of aliens and creatures. And she's great. She's actually great. I don't know who could replace Patty Maloney. She was like one of a kind talent. So, but
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
So what's
awesome? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what is coming up? So since we have some real Star Warriors here, what's next in Star? I mean, we have the Mandalorian, but else is coming up in Star Wars? Avery, you're on our Star Wars beat. So what else is coming up that is actual? I mean, I know COVID's cut in, but what's coming up that we can look to criticize? I mean, enjoy.
Well, I think COVID's a lot of it because they had all those other Disney Plus series, like the Kenobi series that was supposed to be in production. And then that went on hiatus right before COVID-19 happened. So I don't think they're really working on that. One thing I do part of why I think they were able to produce The Mandalorian, which if you watch Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, you can see them talk about the volume, which is kind of like their LED screen thing that they've got where that's how they film The Mandalorian. And I think that will give them the opportunity to especially do more Disney Plus things with Star Wars because you can kind of social distance and like film in a studio and make it look like you're on Tatooine, but you're really just in Burbank somewhere. So I think we will see some of that. Other than that, they've got the new round of Old Republic books that are about to come out, which personally, I'm always a fan of Star Wars moving forward. And then it's like, I'm not really as much a fan of the Jedi stuff as I am of the smuggler stuff. So that one doesn't interest me as much because I'm more interested, like I like seeing, the rogues on the corners and stuff like that rather than. So they do have Dr. Aphra, actually.
Yeah.
Is current and is running. And so there's that to look forward to. Is still coming out. I think still monthly now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one's still monthly. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the relatively recently relaunched Star Wars titles. They're all set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi now, which is just a 6-month period or whatever that I've always been really interested in. I was hugely into Shadows of the Empire when that came out back in the 90s. Nice.
The 64
Excellent.
game.
Awesome. But yeah, the Star Wars and Darth Vader series are the ones that I've mainly been following, and those are both really, really entertaining right now.
Yeah, there's some good stuff.
I think, and then I'm a casual gamer at best, but I haven't played the one that came out last year. Was it Fallen Order? Is that the game or the Star Wars game that came out last year? It looks really fun. I think maybe I did pick up a game a year after it came out if I play it. So maybe it's been about a year or so. Maybe I'll try and pick it up and play that. But I am looking forward to the Star Wars musical, which I'm just kidding. I wish I was like,
I was interest peaked.
yeah. I was like, what? The team behind The Greatest Showman is doing. I would love that. I would be in. I remember in the early 90s, the early days of the internet, because we were all musical theater performers who lived together and we were a bunch of nerds. My friend found it. I can't find it online now. I didn't really search, but there was some random theater company somewhere that had done Les Mis, but changed it. It was Les Mis music, and they made it Star Wars. And so we found clips of it, and it was fucking amazing. We're like, yes, the confrontation scene, of course. Luke and Darth Vader, it's like, that would be amazing, watching them like doing this duet and then going at it in a fight. So someone bring that, whoever did that originally, bring that back or put it up online if it isn't already. I got to try and find it. I think it was only like audio clips of it, but it was like, oh, somebody please do that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really followed. I don't follow as much as the extended universe stuff as some of you guys. So obviously, I am enjoying the Mandalorian, and of all the proposed Star Wars projects. I'm looking forward to Kenobi. I just think that's just such a great concept of, what did Obi-Wan do when he was stuck on Tatooine, and certainly all the episodes set on Tatooine, and all of the Star Wars showed that this world has, a lot's going to happen. And also, if Rian Johnson ever makes another Star Wars, supposedly he has a trilogy in the works. I'm
Let's do it.
Totally on board. I hope that's the one that Taika Waititi. He's signed to 80,000 projects, and I would, if that happens, great, but not holding my breath. If Kevin Feige, not holding my breath, but Rian Johnson.
Yeah. If I'd be all for Jar Jar Binks, hear me out. For a Jar Jar Binks series, if they follow that fan theory, which I'm sure you guys heard of, about that fan theory that he's
a Sith Lord.
Yeah, he's a Sith Lord.
That's
yes.
brilliant.
Yes.
Give me a series with that. That'd be awesome. Jar Jar's a Sith Lord. That'd be great.
Yeah, and I think that conspiracy theories, deep state stuff like that, it's totally.
Yep.
Bring it on.
Yeah, why not?
Totally 2020.
We don't get enough of that.
We don't get enough
of that in real life. So
we don't have enough deep state conspiracy theories at all. So bring it into Star Wars. Yeah. 100%.
The Jedi's a death cult. They eat babies.
Yes.
Yeah, there it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. What were the younglings really for? Did they eat pizza? We don't know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So way more to come. Well, you folks, I think this is great. I think we've really covered it all here. Although supposedly they're making a documentary about the Star Wars Holiday Special. And you know what, Disney?
They are. Yeah, you sent that link. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Disney, let it be free.
Yeah.
Disney
Plus.
Plus.
Put it on Disney Plus.
Let it all hang out. Come on.
Let
Don't
it.
be ashamed.
Let it be out there. You own it.
Yeah.
Stir whip. Hey, wait, Avery, did you have a recipe or something you wanted to share?
I've had tip-yip. I've had
for Wookiees.
the meal that they have in the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you can have it at. I don't know how well this is going to come out. How well you're going to? Can you see it at all? Probably.
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah. So it is. It's like fried chicken. It's like a fried chicken potato dish.
I'm in already.
Tip-yip is chicken?
Yeah, it's well, and I think it's supposed to be from Endor. I think it's like an Endor dish, and so it was introduced in the Black Spire book that came out before Galaxy's Edge opened, and you can have it at Docking Bay 7 there. So
nice.
I appreciated that little reference to Batuu there. I thought that was.
I like that we are bringing a lot of things back in, and just bring back Akmina. We need to. There needs to be Akmina needs to. She was brought in some of the extended universe, but I want closure for Akmina, not just closing the bar.
Her dress is amazing.
She could be like the Guinan of the Star Trek universe.
Yes.
She doles out wise advice and everything. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome.
Well, awesome. All right. So that's it. Now, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so we can keep doing these awesome videos. Don't forget to subscribe to Jimmy's podcast as well. And, leave us a rating, give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you think. And so until next time, I'm Heidi McDonald, comicsbeat.com. And on all social media, I'm Comixace, COMIXACE.
I'm Jimmy Aquino of Comic News Insider. We also release this as an audio podcast in case you're driving or riding the train or whatever you can listen to as well. You don't get to see our beautiful faces, but you can always check it out on the Comics Beat YouTube channel. But yes, at comicnewsinsider.com, you can find me at Jimmy Aquino, JIMMYAQUINO on the socials.
Avery?
I'm Avery Kaplan. You can find me at comicsbeat.com and on Twitter at AveryKaplan6.
And I'm Joe Grunenwald. You can also find me at comicsbeat.com and on Twitter at JOEGRUNENWALD.
Awesome. Well, until next time, everybody.
Happy Life Day.
Happy Life
Day.
Good night, but not goodbye.
We'll meet again, friends.